Hi, I'm Danielle, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about whatever it is I feel like. And today we have another Unwinding Thoughts because I saw Hadestown. Yes. Yeah, I know I've had a lot of Unwinding Thoughts, but I've seen a lot of movies. So remember, this is my channel where I talk about whatever I want, and I want to talk about the movies that I saw. So early this month, I told you about my July watch list, and I've been like banging through the movies on that. And Hadestown was number one. I saw it this weekend and I saw it twice. And now I'm going to talk about how much I adored it. So that's what this is. That's what this is. I saw Hadestown. It was the original cast and they performed in London in, I want to say it was shot in 2025. And it was so fabulous to see. Something that I loved about this pro shot was that it beat Hamilton's record for like the highest grossing like Broadway musical theater kind of like pro shot in theaters. It beat out Hamilton, which is such good news. Not because I hate Hamilton, I absolutely love Hamilton, but if because money makes the world go round here, unfortunately. Hadestown definitely has a capitalist undertone as well, but money makes the world go round here. So if we want things to if we want more things that we like, we need to put our money into those things. Companies need to see that people will go see Broadway pro shots, and in turn, maybe they'll make more Broadway pro shots, and that's great because theater should be more accessible. I want theater to be more accessible for people, and to do that, I think we need more pro shots. And if companies and corporations see that a lot of people are going to pay for the pro shots, they will do them because, again, say it with me, money makes the world go round. It definitely helped. I saw it twice and it was fabulous. So I remember when it was announced that it was going to be a pro shot, I definitely followed that very closely because I didn't want to miss it. Hadestown is probably one of my favorite musicals. My best friend surprised me with tickets to see it earlier this year, so I saw it. I believe we had my Orpheus and Eurydice were Morgan Dudley and Jack Wolf. And this was with the original Broadway cast, which they're the ones that I listen to pretty much every day for July. Like the amount of times I just put on Wait for Me and I'm just immediately swept up in the story and I absolutely love it so much. So let's get some of these thoughts out of this lovely little noggin. Let's talk about some of the things that were my favorite. So, one of my favorite things is deep male voices. And Patrick Page has maybe the deepest, lowest, like, voice that I've heard. And I love his voice on the album. And just hearing it in the pro shot was, oh my God, it was so good. Hey Little Songbird is definitely like flittering around in my head a lot, which is wonderful because that song never gets stuck in my head. But that one, ugh. And he unfortunately hurt his Achilles tendon, I want to say, like a month or so before the pro shot was set to be filmed. And it was this big thing like, one of the stars is hurt. What are we going to do? And I think that the way he was able to have a special cast on and it was glittery, bedazzled, and it like fit into his costume really well. And it definitely, they worked with his injury so that his movement was definitely a lot different and a lot more sinister, but it was still like it still fit the character. You didn't ever for a moment think that Hades was weak, because he's a very powerful character. He's the king of hell, the king of the underground. He's not supposed to be weak, and even though is doesn't have the full use of one leg, he wasn't weak. He still had that really, his movements were still very snake like, and very, what is the word I want to use? What is the word I want? They were still very like slick and very like, he just, the presence that he has when he moves was so elegant still, because he also had the use of a cane. It felt just very, it all fit very well with his character of Hades. Somehow you would think having a cast would slow him down, but he was also moving up and down those stairs pretty well. Granted, they didn't have him do it a lot because, but I don't think the story suffered for him having a cast on. It still was so good. Oh my gosh. The scene in Epic 3, the final Epic one, where he's dancing with Persephone, and oh my god, I still love the scene on the show, in the like play, in the musical, but when he's dancing and he's sort of like, you see him start to remember the song, the song of his love. The gods forgot the song of their love. He's starting to remember the song of his love, and just oh my god. There was a, of course, there's the point where he puts his hand out and a flower blooms, and that was just amazing to see. But then also in the dance, he like puts his cane away and then just dances with Persephone, and you could see Amber Gray, who plays Persephone, just sobbing, and it was so beautiful. So that was a really standout scene for them. It's standout in the show, but in like the Broadway musical, but it's even more standout in the pro shot, just because it's like it all just culminates so beautifully there. He had so many great choices. The "I run the electric city," that line was just spectacular, with him and all the lights kind of like blowing out. That was amazing. The great show of his power. What was another scene that I really loved? Um the scene after the "Come Home with Me" reprise, when he notices that Orpheus is in Hadestown. Just his command of everything was absolutely fabulous. It was perfection. I loved it so much. Um you cannot have Hades without Persephone, and Amber Gray. She's fabulous. She's fabulous as Persephone. She was absolutely amazing. You can see every little like twitch of her lip and like furrow of her brows as she noticed Hades kind of like ready to do his little song and dance with Eurydice. You could see that in her face, the just absolute regret that they've gotten to this point in their love. Anytime you could see her, anytime Hades was talking to any of the mortals, you could kind of see her in the background, like, "Lover, what have you become?" Like that epic line from Chant, you could see that in her eyes, and it was amazing. And again, in that final part at the end of Epic 3, when you see them dancing together, just like everything about her is fabulous. And then, of course, Our Lady of the Underground, like her great song that she opens Act 2 with. I love her so much. It was so amazing. And it was just amazing. Another standout performance, Eva Noblezada. I have no words. She's fabulous. I think the other thing I love about a pro shot is Broadway is a very big stage. So you don't see everything on that stage. You know they're acting, but they of course have to make bigger choices a lot of times, because they need to be able to see, the back row needs to be able to see, like, you know what I mean, the back row needs to be able to see. But once you can get that intimacy in the pro shot, you of course see the big choices that if you were watching the musical from the audience, of course you would be able to see that. But you also see the intense acting in the face that she's doing. She was transcendent. It was it, flowers. Oh my god, flowers, flowers. Oh, flowers. Flowers was so good. I already, I I listen to Wait For Me reprise more than is healthy, if I'm being honest. But of course, that's always amazing to see. I just absolutely love her so much. Like, that is my Eurydice. I'm obsessed with her and her portrayal of it. She's fabulous. Every quiver of her lip, every you see like the fight in her to open up and trust Orpheus and still want to keep her walls up because she's used to running away and trying to run towards someone and being let down, and then the desperation because Orpheus, I'm hungry. Like, she was so good. So amazing. But like, these are duh things. These are duh. Of course they were fabulous. Andre de Shields. Duh. Of course they're fabulous. They were just amazing. He also did amazing as Hermes, and his little, oh my god, he took us on a ride. He took us on a journey in the story, and he was fabulous. I loved it so much. Oh my god, the Fates. The Fates. The Fates, of course, are fabulous. And the harmonies that they do, I want to give a special shout out to the woman who does the low harmony, because there was a note that she did in Wait For Me that just, I like, ugh, I just got chills and it was amazing. And that happened both times that I saw it. I was just like, she's going to do something amazing and it's going to just, ugh, I'm going to feel it in my bones. And she did. And it was amazing. I loved it so much. Okay. I feel like I could go on forever. The thing that was different about this pro shot than, for example, Merrily or even Hamilton, which are the two that I've probably seen the most, is that you see the audience a little bit more. It is not it is not distracting. It is not like, let's every single second pan in, every time there's applause, let's pan to the audience. No. But I think the thing with Hadestown is that it's a story. It's very much the musical is very much kind of folklore and what is the word? Like, very much, it's a song, it's very much storytelling through an audio medium, where back in the day people weren't writing down their stories, they were just telling them. It's very spoken. So I think because so much of this is a story needs an audience to like breathe life into it, and the audience, they're incorporated a little bit, not excessively. Again, it's not distracting or anything, but occasionally you would see into the audience and you could like see them like or of course when Persephone is like, playing out to the crowd, you see a little bit of them like laughing and getting into it, because again, the whole point of it's a love song but we're going to sing it again, like it's a sad song, we're going to sing it again, so of course we have to incorporate the audience that they're singing it for. And just because you know how a story ends doesn't mean it's any less important to tell it. So the audience was incorporated, but it was not distracting. Okay, we're going to talk about standout scenes that, well, one other thing before about the like kind of staging. Anytime the the stage went in and they went into the underworld and you saw it from the top, amazing. I just, whoever made those shots, I want to kiss you on the forehead. Just amazing. Anytime. Cuz there were a couple times where they go down and you like see the kind of like the shot from above where you just like see someone peering into the hole. Those those times were amazing. It happens a couple times. It was well done every time. I loved it every time. Now we're going to get into scenes or specific numbers that just captivated me. We're going to go in order. So the first one, Wait For Me, the first version. Not the first version, Orpheus's Wait For Me. Oh my gosh. When I saw Wait For Me live, I immediately put Hadestown as an amnesia show, an amnesia thing. And what I mean by that is, if I ever get amnesia, this is something that I want, that I think is integral to me as a person. And also, it was so mind blowing that I would love to see it again without knowing anything that happens, to just have my mind blown for the first time again. Like, what would you wish you could erase your memory and see again? That's my amnesia show. Because one, it's part of me. I need to know why I have this book up here. I need to know why. I need to know why it's my most frequently played on Amazon. I need to know why. And I need to be able to like have my mind blown again. Hearing it for the first time, seeing it for the first time. I need that to happen again. And Wait for Me, it's the most, it's one of my favorite things ever. Wait for Me. Orpheus's Wait for Me. Mm, amazing. I just, the way that you could see the stage open up when Orpheus sings his song to get into the underworld. Oh my God. Oh my God, that was amazing. It was epic. And it doesn't look, it looks amazing. I won't say it looks as good as seeing it live because if you see it live, that's otherworldly. But this is like a close second. This is a close second to seeing it live, seeing it and seeing the stage just completely open up and then the lights flood. And it looks epic. It looks epic. Another number that just like, I no words. Of course, Wait for Me Part 2, the reprise. I love Wait for Me. I I love listening to that song. There are multiple times when I have playlists where it's just Wait for Me and Wait for Me reprise, and I just listen to those two songs multiple times in a row. That was so good. And then Doubt comes in. Doubt comes in was just feel how alone Orpheus is. You can hear the echoing of the fates inside his head essentially because he doesn't have that. Everyone's not singing along with him at that point. He can't hear everyone singing along to him. And it was completely shrouded in darkness. And then occasionally you could see Eurydice over his shoulder, just like the way the light was hitting it. You would have him right here and then her like a little in the back, and you can kind of see her. And she was like singing, Orpheus, I'm right here. Oh, it looked so good. And then you would see the workers like behind her, kind of like, also trying to follow to get out of hell, out of Hadestown. Amazing. Amazing. It was so good. Oh my God. Just the echo of his voice. Because in Hadestown, a lot of times when Orpheus sings, a lot of people are singing with him. Someone's always harmonizing with him. He always has like a little like reverb in his voice essentially because you could always hear someone like double up with him. Someone's always singing with him. But this time he was just like echoey because no one else was singing with him. But they're behind him. And then, of course, it ends how it ends. And Eurydice ends up back. And there's the shot of Andre de Shield's Hermes where you see the hole in the ground and you just see Andre de Shield's legs like right there standing over the hole looking at Orpheus. So you just see his legs, but you see Orpheus kind of like outstretched like it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm gonna have to stop here because I could legitimately talk about this forever. I could talk about this forever. I think they said it was only going to be in theaters 5 days. And I don't know what day we're on right now. If I can, I kind of want to see it again. I don't think that's going to be possible with my schedule, unfortunately. But I think with how successful it was, they might be adding more showings. Hey, I love a day at the theater. I could go again. Don't you worry about it. I could go again. But yeah, it was so epic. It was so epic. I loved it so much. And rest assured, I will be paying attention to every single purchasing channel that gives me the opportunity to buy this. I need it as a physical copy. I need it physical because don't let me get this in my home. Don't let me get this in my home because that'll be all I do. That'll be all I do. Just like every night, watch Hadestown. It'll be like Spider-Verse because when the second Spider-Verse came out, oh, I watched that like every night for 2 weeks. That was another thing that just like blew my mind. It was so epic. I could talk about Spider-Verse forever too. Hadestown, Spider-Verse. Oh my gosh. I don't know how we got into Spider-Verse, but that I think that just means I need to stop. So that was pretty much it. And I will see you next time I have something else to talk about. Bye.